Good morning. This is a £12,000 Freedom Masters qualifier. We're here at Dunham Bridge on the mighty tidal River Trent. It's been in flood all week. It was always going to be an interesting match. There's been some areas of England that's been terribly affected by the floods and the rain, and we've just come over the river, and it is well, it's at the top of the banks anyway, so it's going to be a test. I think the normal drawbag's probably gone out of the window now, so areas that we think might have been good are probably not such hot spots right now, because when the river's like this anything can happen. So all I've got to do now is just draw a peg, hopefully with a little bit of steady water. I've got to win the 20 pegs to hopefully try and secure a place in this year's Freedom Masters final at the fantastic Tamar Lakes.
Two been on the floor, so they're the ones that want.
North Clifton 19 doesn't mean a lot to me. Morning. How are you? You okay? Yeah.
Do you know where is there?
Yeah. I don't know how to fish it when we get there, but I know where it is.
Just get me there. Can I follow you?
Nice to see you. Yeah, of course. North Clifton 19 doesn't mean a lot to me, other than it's second from an end peg. I don't know which end, because I don't know which way around he's pegged it. So peg 20 is the end peg, hopefully downstream end peg. I think it's the main car park at North Clifton. That's all I really know about it, and I've got assistant scales, so at least I'm going to see some fish because I'm going to be weighing in. So yeah, so I'm going to get up there. We're fishing 11 till 4, and then we'll just see what we're faced with when we get to the river. We'll first look at the river. Flat calm again. Sun's come out. It's not been cut out or anything, but it's not an issue. So I'm peg 19. Mr. Golding on the end peg, peg 20. That's the last peg. He's got the scales. Yeah, it looks nice. We've been told, obviously this is the tidal river, so we've been told that it's going to top out here at about quarter to 1, I think it is, 12:45. So that's when the rivers should be at its highest, and then it's going to run off after that. However, obviously, as you can see, there's plenty of extra water in there, so it might not make any difference whatsoever. There might be that much water coming down from all the rain we've had that it might not affect the level. We don't really know what to expect, but I think it's going to be a pretty simple approach, to be fair, today. We don't know how well it's going to fish, so I'm going to get my kit out, and might be a 2-rod job, I think, but I'll talk you through the setup and everything as soon as I'm down at my peg. First look at the peg. A little bit overgrown. There should be some steps down there somewhere. There we go. Don't know what number that is. Permanent number 3. Doesn't mean a lot to me. Doesn't look as bad as what I thought. There's not much boiling. There's a bit of boiling at, I don't know, 10 metres out, and then obviously there's more past that, but 10 metres back it looks pretty steady on this inside, to be honest. Bit of a dead water here, but it does look shallow. These steps, I think these are great big steps, stones, continue down there. I don't know how far down they go, but yeah, odd little fish topping. That was probably a little bleak or something like that. That looked like another rise over there, unless it's a bird. But normally one of the first things I do is get my box in, get settled and everything, but I'm not going to do that today, purely because this is still coming up. So I've just marked it with a little stick so I can see if it's still coming up. I don't want to get comfortable and then have to move back when the match starts. So I'm going to get my rod set up, mix my bait and everything, and then get my box in right at the end. I've got the 4 metre river keep net, so I can sit back. I'm not going to go in the water because I might end up fishing down this slack, and I don't want to disturb the water. And with obviously safety is a big issue here today as well, with the state of the river. So yeah, I'm going to get set up, and I'll talk you through the approach once everything's set up. I've just got out, it's the 4 metre Horizon XD. 100 gram version. It's got a 3-ounce tip in it, which, you know, probably would have been alright on a normal river, but I think I'm going to have to change it. But before I change the tip, I'm going to have to step up to probably 4-ounce maybe. Just going to have a quick feel around with a bomb, just to get an idea of, you know, how deep it is. Well, there's 50 minutes to the off now. It's still coming up. That's why I haven't put my box or anything in place yet. The setup is it's obviously river gear, but it's beefed up a little bit, obviously because of the flow. And I imagine I'm gonna have to have at least, I don't know, 3-ounce on, maybe even more, depending on where I'm gonna fish. I haven't decided yet which lines I'm gonna fish, but I've got the 100 gram XD setup, 4 meters. All right. I've got 8-pound Carpmaster line on that. It's on the 5,000 reel, and I've got a 10-pound shock leader as well. I've heard there's a few snags here. Well, when I say snags, I've been told it's weed, so there may be some issues when I start fishing. I've had a chuck around with the bomb. Seems all right, but it's obviously a different ball game when you've got a 3-ounce feeder on or a 4-ounce feeder on and a hook length as well. So, and that is it really. It's a free running rig. I'll show you close up to this on the other camera, but it's a free running rig with an extra strong 4cm feeder link, and I've got that stopped just above it, just so I can, it's like a semi-fixed rig kind of thing, and just 2 loops below that through the leader. I've also got another rod set up. It's an 11-foot rod. The bolts are coming up. That's usually a sign that the tide's turning, because they tend to come in on the tide as it comes up. That's when they come in. They obviously use less fuel that way. Same when they're going out. I've got an 11-foot rod set up. It's an XS Slim. I'm hoping I don't even have to pick this up. All right, it's coupled with a nice little 3,000 reel, beautiful little setup, but obviously once more suited for still water fishing. And this is in case nobody's catching, there aren't any decent fish caught or anything. This will allow me to literally fish almost in the grass down this inside. It's actually, it goes around a bit of a bend here, so it's a little bit steadier, the water close in, which I'll show you once I'm set up. But it's very steady on the inside. So this might be an approach, just going down the side of the grass, just trying to nick anything, catch anything, any small fish. But like I say, I'm hoping I don't have to pick that up. I'm hoping I'm going to catch on the proper gear, which is what I'm pretty certain you will need to catch on to win 20 pegs. I mean, if you have a look up now, Paul's on the end peg there, so that's peg 20. I'm on 19, and it just goes right the way up to the other side of that viaduct there. So it's a massive amount of space covered. There are some gaps as well that Alan Henry, the match organiser, has had to leave out just through safety reasons. The pegs might not be too good. I don't know if there's wires and things going across, but that's the nature of the beast of this sort of fishing, you know. You do sometimes inevitably have gaps. So it covers a lot of ground, so I'm sure you're going to have to catch on this proper gear, you know, whether it might be a couple of big bream, big fish, or who knows, it might fish better than expected. So that's it. I'm going to give it about another 15 minutes. Have a look what the level situation's like, and then get my box and everything set up. Time for a quick sandwich and a cup of tea, and I'll talk you through the approach when I know exactly what I'm going to do, because even now, it's now 45 minutes to the off. I'm still not 100% sure what lines I'm going to fish. I'm going to have a look at the river, what state it's in when we actually go in at 11 o'clock. And I'll also be watching what Paul's doing, Paul Golding, because he fishes the river a lot. I'm just going to kind of have a look at what lines he's going to be fishing as well, because obviously he's a local, and you know, when you come to, I only come here once a year. So yeah, you've got to see what the local lads do, and like I say, it seems a little bit steadier on the inside, so we might be fishing shorter than expected. Well, it's 20 minutes to the off, more set up really, with the exception of actually putting my box in. You can see the water's come up now. It's come up about, I don't know, 7 inch I'd say. Bit of slack water here. There's still odd fish topping out there, but this is certainly dead water here, which could help. But yeah, I'm going to get my box in now, get it nice and settled. Still got about another hour of it filling up. What normally happens on here, when it does fill up, it normally flows that way. The river normally flows that way. That is the natural course of the river. But when it fills up, it actually backs up and goes that way, except for today. For today, there's that much water still coming in, but it's still flowing that way, even while it's filling up. So we're not going to see a change in it today. So tiny little fish topping here, not a fry or whatever, but I'm going to get my box in now, and then hopefully by the time that all that's done, I've got an idea about where I'm going to be fishing. I'll quickly talk you through the setup because I know a lot of people ask about it. I think I might have measured it just right. The water level is there now, still coming up. It's about 15 minutes to the off. With this sort of setup, obviously potentially the water level could come up to here, because obviously there's nothing below that, it's all framework and legs and stuff, so I mean that's easy, what, I bet it's almost 2 feet, so it can come up plenty before I even have to think about moving back, if that's going to be the case. But I think I might have measured it just right. Usual extendable side tray, nice and solid. I'm not going to have too many baits on there today, but it just means I can get all my hooks and everything on there. I've got the landing net set up at 4 metres, that's obviously so I can get out there if I hopefully need to use that net for anything. 4 metre river net, this is ideal conditions for that sort of thing, because obviously when you're not right on the edge of the water you can sit back a little bit and there's still plenty of net in the water. I've got 2 feeder arms set up. I've got my main feeder arm, which is the mega one, the 2 arm. That's obviously for stability, and that's the one that's ideal for river fishing. So that's obviously when I got the rod up in the air on the main rod. And if I've got to go in down this margin just looking for bites on that shorter 11-foot rod, then I've got another one set up there. That's for that, just so I can chuck that down the side. And it's there, it's out of the way, because I do everything, I catch my rig and everything with my left hand, so that shouldn't interfere with anything there. So I've got that set up for that. And then I've just got the roost in place. That'll just keep everything out of this long grass and make sure my rig and everything's alright. I'm still not sure what line I'm going to fish, but I'm just going to get the bait out and everything and just make a decision within the next few minutes. Willy Worm's finest as a kilo. I'm fishing tomorrow, so I've got some extra for tomorrow, but if I go through that lot today, I've had a good day. Yeah.
What's that then?
60 gram. Bad start, that one. It's crossed it.
Tell me that it's not.
Oh yeah, it's not flying properly.
No,
No, it's still filling up.
I'm thinking so it dropped like.
Yeah, it's still filling up, so.
Because it will bend anyway, won't it? By itself.
It will when it starts going.
Keep catching like that.
I know. And there, flow. Plenty of baiting. Attack it, as you say. not what you'd want on a two-piece.
Now, but that,
You want that?
so you can see in front of you now that what's floating down, what speed is.
Quick bite that one, won't it?
Yeah.
Only in a few seconds. 2 pieces of worm. Fast bite that, won't it?
Yeah.
Small fish. It is.
Yeah, that's what might have been bumping it earlier then.
Yeah.
That long.
Well, we're 1 hour in. I have got a small roach, a small dace, a small hybrid, and 2 better hybrids for about £3, maybe a tiny bit more, maybe. No. Let's net him. Right species, yeah.
What?
Right species. After them hybrids. Pommies, or whatever they're calling them these days. See about stepping that feeder up in a bit. Feeder just moved then. It's starting to pick up now. The flow starting to go to the right, a bit more bend in the tip now. So I'm gonna have to step the feeder up. I stepped down to 45 gram, and now I think I'm gonna have to go a little bit heavier than that as it gets going. Judge the water level just about right, as you can see. So that's good. But no, there's not many spectators. There's no people walking about, so I've no idea what's been caught the rest of the section. So just got to keep doing what I'm doing. I've only seen one other fish caught, and that's pulled down to my right. He's netted a small fish, or it looked a small fish, and that's it. I've no idea what else has been caught, so I'm going to carry on doing what I'm doing on this, and hopefully I'll just keep picking up, you know, fish like I am doing, or I'll have a run of fish as it starts running off. But I'm just going to carry on feeding confidently, and just try and keep my eyes open and find out what's happening in the rest of the zone. Feels a bit kiting down here. Kited right down to the right. Another hybrid, I think. Kept coming, we'd be alright then.
Yeah.
Shook the hook out in the net. It's 1 o'clock. I've been fishing 2 hours. I'm having to hold the camera there so I can keep my eye on the tip. It's fishing hard generally. I mean, I'm doing the best here by far by the sounds of it. Paul on the end peg, he can't get a bite. He's really struggling. I don't know what he says. He's got £1, £2 maybe. Lad on my left has just had his first fish. Next one up's got 3 roach for less than £1. So it's ticking over. It's slowed down a little bit. I've got probably 6 or 7 hybrids now, and a bream. The bream, I'd like to say it was £3, but I think it was just less than that. Proper bronze bream. But other than that, I've no idea how the rest of the section's going on. It's now flowing properly now. But I'm just holding bottom now with 45 gram on, leaving a loop in it. It's just balanced nicely, and I'm hoping it's going to stay like that. Piling loads of feed through, loads of particles. So there's no reason for me to change. I've just got to keep doing what I'm doing and open. You know, I'm going to keep either putting fish in the net steadily, or have a good run of fish and catch 1 or 2 better fish as well, and just catch what I can. That's all I can do. Like I say, I'm fishing blind. I've no idea how the rest of the zone's fishing, so just going to keep going. Well, that was a really slow hour. I've only had one fish in that hour, one bite, but it is a bream, about £4. I've just pulled off a bream. A really slow pull, just pulled out halfway back. But I've got proper gear on, so there's nothing else I could really do. 3 red maggots. Just got to stick at what I'm doing. Nobody's catching around here, so just got to keep doing what I'm doing and catch what I can. Then I needed to land that from his sanity. Well, that's it, done. I didn't check in the last 2 hours. I lost a bream, which I pulled out of, and then I lost another one. The line just got cut off, so it's 2 bream, and then I've lost 2 hybrids since then as well. So I need to just kind of get my head down. I did have that proper bream in the last 2 hours, but I think that's just about the only fish I've had. It's just died. You know, all the bites went. The fish I've lost them on proper gear, so I can't really put it down to that. You know, I've ended up with a size 10 hook on, pieces of worm. I've had proper gear on, so sometimes you don't know if they're hooked right or not. I don't know. I've got a 4-ounce tip in that. Fish is quite a heavy feeder, so whether that had something to do with it, I don't know. Or whether they just weren't hooked properly, but that's it, it's done with now. I think I've overheard that they've carried on catching at that top end. That viaduct there is where the end of this section is, so as you can imagine it covers a lot of ground, but we've heard they've carried on catching. Up there they said that 2 people were admitting to £10 at the halfway stage. Now I had more than that at the halfway stage, but I think I've overheard that they've carried on catching. The only thing I can hope is that if I haven't won the zone and qualified, I hope it's by a long way. I don't want those lost fish to have cost me, but it's done with now. Not a lot I can do about it, so I'm going to get this kit packed away now. I've got to assist Paul weighing in, so at least we're going to get to see these pegs here, and if I haven't qualified, hopefully you know, I might stand a chance of winning the section. But I'm going to get the kit packed away, and then we'll get some definite weights.
And that was about an hour to go.
Really? What you got?
He said he's got 25
Well, that's a surprise. They're the weights. Weighed a bit more than what I thought. I've had £24.12. Really pleased with weight from where I am, but as you can see, peg 13, my good mate and winter partner Richard Vaughan, he's had £30.8 right the way up there, just in the bend. He's had some beautiful roach, great big roach. He's not caught them far out, but that's a fantastic weight, £30.8. So I've obviously not won the zone. I haven't even won the 10 pegs. The only thing that might happen is if Richard frames with that with £30, I might get the section by default. But well, the lost fish has definitely cost me the 10 peg section, but we haven't seen the weights from the other side yet, going up towards the viaduct up there. You know, the first 10 pegs in this zone. So I've got to take the scales back and everything anyway. So we'll have a look at the results as soon as we get back.
Got a golden ticket,
Right.
it's just absolutely
Top
marvellous.
4 overall in 4th place with £24.12 ounces, Jamie Harrison. In 3rd place with £30.8 ounces, Richard Vaughan.
Well done, mate. Well done, mate.
In 2nd place with £31.4 ounces, Andy Dixon. Well done, Dicko. Well done, Andy. Cheers, mate. And today's winner with £41.6 ounces, Richard Smaller.
Well done, Rick. Well done, mate. Brilliant.
Cheers. Right, qualifiers. From the first zone at North Clifton with £41.6 ounces, Richard Smaller.
Well
Well
done,
done,
mate.
mate.
Qualifier 2 from Lawton with £31.4 ounces, Andy Dixon. And qualifier 3 from Torksey with £9.9.5 ounces, Steve Phoebe.
Well done, Steve.
Can I have pictures, please, of the 3 qualifiers? And can everyone stay off Facebook until I send this to Lee Kerry? I'll get my arse kicked.
Well, I've ended up 4th in the match, which is obviously nice to pick up. Richard Vaughan's had a fantastic weight. He's had £30 up on peg 13 right up to my left, and then as predicted and as the rumours were suggesting, peg 1 has just won the zone. He's had £41, massive well done, mate, and he's won the match with that as well. So I'm really pleased with the weight that I've caught where I've been. Again, I've beat everybody around me, you know, and I keep doing it, and I'm pleased I'm doing it on different venues. You know, today's been a river, obviously Patso were different, Carmel was different. You know, all you can do is kind of, you know, get the top weight from where you're drawing. You know, you can't really do much more than that. Thankfully, the lost fish that I don't want to keep banging on about haven't cost me qualification. I never would have got £41, you know, and it's obviously fished better up there, but you know, obviously, you know, the lad who's drawn that peg, he's done really well. He's fished it right, he must have, and he's qualified. So massive well done, mate. Richard's had a great weight, some lovely roach, but that's it. So I can't really tell you much more about today, other than I've fed a lot. I've fed a full pint of dead red maggots, and I've fed a full pint of casters as well. I caught better when I cut back on worm, but worm has been better on the hook. I fished 2 pieces of worm, and certainly the last 2 hours I've finished up with a number 10 hook on, and the fish I've lost have been on that hook as well. So whilst I have lost those fish, I can't really say it's because I had the wrong gear on at the time. You know, sometimes we don't know why fish come off, you know, but anyway, I'm not going to dwell on that. I've got to just roll with that one and move on. Went back to the presentation, as you've just seen. I picked up a few quid, which is great. It's covered the cost of the day, which is great. I've just drove 60 miles now with Dad down to Peterborough, and that's because the next qualifier is tomorrow morning. It's tomorrow at Ferry Meadows, which I know a lot of you will know. So we're in a hotel now. Dad's just gone in now, so I'm looking forward to a shower. I'm going to have a slap up meal, might even treat myself to a couple of beers, and then I've just got to wash today off and start fresh again tomorrow. Ferry Meadows is a completely different ball game that a lot of you will know. It's a still water, and it's very, very peggy. There will be areas where there are some bream, but there will be some areas where there could be several blanks in a row. And touch wood, if I've got any wood in here, I don't know, I haven't, but I've never drawn the epicenter of fish on Ferry Meadows. I haven't fished Ferry Meadows for 2 years. This hotel's about 2 miles away, so we're going to be able to have a good night's sleep, have a nice breakfast, and head on over there tomorrow, where hopefully I'm going to draw a peg where there's a few fish, and then the rest of it is just up to me to get right. But no, I've enjoyed it. I've caught some fish. That's the most fish I've caught in flood conditions, so I can't really complain. And like I say, I've beat everyone around me, which, whilst I can come away and think, you know, should I have done this, should I have done that to try and get the £41 to win, I don't know if that weight was there in front of me, you know, because if there were a lot of fish there, maybe other people around me would have caught more. But there we go. I've got to wash it off. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed this little bit of an insight into the Feeder Masters qualification. What's the word? Quest. But it's not happened today, but anything could happen tomorrow. So thanks for watching, really appreciate it. Any comments, if you know any more details about today's match, then please just comment below and I'll do my best to help you out. If you don't want to miss tomorrow's match or any of the future matches or future videos, then just hit that subscribe button. And if you want some more in-depth, more detailed videos, then you might want to have a look at my other channel. The link is just there for you, Patreon TV. That's where I go in a lot more in depth about my preparation for these sorts of events and how I analyse a lot of them as well. So have a look at that. But thanks for watching, I really appreciate it, and fingers crossed for a flyer tomorrow, and I'll see you all in the next video.